Welcome to Joe Baker's Remedy Report. Oh, just saying hi, really. I don't know. Big thing on my mind lately is continues to be the vitamin A epidemic. It's subclinical, meaning most people don't know that they have liver problems, and uh, there are problems with the circulation in the bile. And the bile, the liver, and the liver produces bile, and we end up with issues um, when this happens. So um, this has remained to be one of my deep areas of focus lately, and I really want young people to start to understand this issue. It's of utmost importance to their future lives. Um, their liver will hold back toxic vitamin A from the rest of their body for perhaps 10 years or so, maybe longer, and will excrete it into the stool. But it can take, there just seems to be problems along the way. People experience trauma. We're trying to figure out what these things are, what differentiates one person from another, whereas someone will go to live 80 years old and eating foods high in toxic vitamin A like beets and liver, and they'll be okay, whereas others will just succumb to all sorts of autoimmune diseases, cancers, uh, diabetes, dismemberment, things like that. And I think it comes to traumas in people's lives, and that these traumas affect how their livers are able to function or not. And it could be a trauma that happened many years ago, and these things, they tend to triangulate, and on a point in the future, uh, at which point it's almost I don't want to say it's possible, but almost impossible to recover from. So these things I've been fixated on, and for good reason. I see the complexities of it. It's a very interesting marriage between a couple parts of my intellect and my curiosities, using the tuning forks to work on people's past traumas and clear them, and understanding that the traumas of the past have something to do with toxins in the body, and perhaps a structural formation of toxins. And that's perhaps why the tuning forks have even worked, is that the forks tend to resonate differently with the tissue of your body than the toxic vitamin A molecule. So the addition of a sound from a tuning fork that has a resonant, coherent sound, almost like an opera singer, right, will shatter the formation of the toxic molecules in the body, and that way you get goodbye, and that way you get a fresh chance to detox those molecules. So that's what I think is going on. And it's a hot day out here. It was hot. It was about 92, perhaps someone saying it was about 100 degrees, and it's cooling down. It feels nice here. I've got some people coming into the chat room. Joe Baker's Remedy Report is a show about bringing harmony to the world through economic innovations, health tips, and increased awareness. Celeste Caldwell says, "Hello, Joe. Happy 4th on the 5th." Yeah, as my dad says, you can't have a happy 4th without a 5th. That's a reference to a 5th of alcohol or something. I don't know exactly. Celeste says she loves the tuning forks, and it's 85 now in Utah. Utah. I went through Beaver, Utah once, and what an experience I had with the police. Oh my God. Anyway, I like Beaver, Utah. It's it's kind of funny. I mean, at least you get to say I like Beaver and have a little chuckle, right? And um, yeah, what else did they say there? Laugh out loud. Yep, that's south of where you're at, huh? Yep. So, um, I've been working on some recipes, to cook for myself, and when it comes to doing a low vitamin A diet, that's pretty important. And I'm getting to the point where I'm making, some really nice oatmeal. I use steel cut oats, and I've been cooking them in a crock pot because they have to slow cook anyway. And then the cleanup seems to be easier in the crock pot. Takes about 2 hours. I put it on high, and I think the last time I put the water in cold, and I just put the oats right in it, and I added some charcoal. But who knows if that was very well. The next time I'm going through there, I'll have to say hi. But I've it's going to be a while before I get to Utah because I don't have a car. I mean, we share a car here, but I had a Toyota Prius, an old one, and it died in Mexico. But I'll tell you, I was driving all over the place. I was going from the east coast of the U.S. to the west coast, down to Acapulco. It was pretty fun. And I dashed back from Acapulco to Milwaukee for a funeral when my uncle passed away. So it's really, I feel it's really important to get a handle on this toxicity issue. Like I said, I was coming up with recipes. The oatmeal. I've learned that you can make the oatmeal more creamy and maybe fluffy by adding oat flour to it. Yeah, oat flour. How about that? And I haven't added the oat flour yet, but even slow cooking and using the steel cut oats has given me the best oatmeal I've ever made. Still not quite as good as I've had at a really fancy restaurant. I'm not going to stop on that until I get to that point. So last night I made some steaks, and I got sirloin steaks as kind of a treat. And And then I learned that the sirloin isn't the best cut. You know, let's see how good my memory is on this. Ribeye is better. Porterhouse, and there's another cut. But anyway, they were kind of hard to chew. So I thought I'm gonna recook them, and I put them into the crock pot, and lo and behold, they were easier to chew, and they didn't seem like they were, obstructed in any way. So that was good. I mean, they didn't get harder to eat. I put a little water in there and little metal thing to put on, keep the steak out of the water, and an Instapot, I think they call it. And I did it for maybe 40 minutes. No, maybe 20 minutes. Yeah. Last night I cooked them on the grill. Anyway, it was easier to chew. The other thing I noticed is that I took a nap earlier in the day, and there must have been a little bit of the meat residue in my teeth. There's little crevices that stuff likes to get into. And I noticed that my gums got irritated, inflamed a little bit right in that spot. And I'm just thinking about this now, and I'm saying to myself, I used to think that happened because they were using tenderizer on meat. Well, in this case, no tenderizer was used. I did use some salt on it when I cooked it. Perhaps the salt has something to do with that. But I want to make another suggestion. We know that the steak, even though it's low in vitamin A, does have vitamin A in it. But it's useful because it has a lot of zinc. It's supposed to have a lot of zinc in it. And so zinc helps us detox vitamin A. What else helps us detox vitamin A? Vitamin B1, zinc. I think magnesium gets drawn down. And what else? I take a little selenium, and I'm not measuring my levels. I'm just kind of guessing at it, and that's not the way to do it. If I had more financial resources, I would get a panel, get my blood tested, my hair tested, have Dr. Garrett Smith take a look at all those levels over time, taking them periodically, and then I'd be able to know just how much to supplement things. He's got an excellent handle on this, and I'm so thrilled that I've been able to help him out. I'm live on the air. Yes. Okay, the other way, man. Hey, you're riding in here. You know where it goes. So anyway, I'm doing security guard detail at the beach. It's really really nice day so far. It's been a lot of heat, but right now it feels perfect. He had to leave. He just had to. He had to put his scooter in a bike rack. We don't like having people riding scooters and stuff in here. That was funny. I remember my grandmother doing this to me. Oh, I don't know what it means. It's like, and then you do this. It's like, no, bad, bad. I don't know what it refers to. Does anybody have an idea? Let's see what's going on in the chat. Anything else? There's an ant crawling around on my cell phone. Well, I'm here. I'm sorry I'm not doing my shows as frequently as I used to. Some days I work, some days I don't, and then I've got other, you know, some days in the morning I'm raking the beach here, and then every now and then I fill in for security detail, and then I've been doing some care for a woman who's in hospice. Ow, ow. Why did you bite me, man? Why did you bite me? I'm grounded right now. I've got my feet down on the ground. No socks on, no shoes on. My sock actually is on the cell phone covering the microphone, so you don't hear so much wind noise. It's acting as a wind sock. Well, it's kind of in a different way to say it. Anyway, so I hope the audio sounds just fine. Utah. Yeah, tuning forks are nice. They're a little difficult to do in the wind. Maybe I could use a windsock on the tuning fork. Like have a little cage around it, but I have to hit it somehow. Anyway, that's an interesting idea because there are times when I want to work on someone's biofield with a tuning fork and there's wind, even from a ceiling fan, something like that. I need to turn the ceiling fan off because it sends percussion waves of compressed air, which can affect the reading of the fork. So let's get some children. Like if you know some kids, suggest to them a science experiment. For next year's school, and that is to get some gerbils or mice and feed the whole family a diet of extremely low, if no, vitamin A, and you'll find that they'll be happy, they'll be healthy, they'll have less anxiety, and you'll find that their vision is fine, that they have no problems with vision. What is getting to be more important is to learn about the next generation of the mice or gerbils. So having one generation completely free of vitamin A, then having offspring, and if we can have offspring that are genetically sound, that have their vision all in check. I see I'm losing some frames here and there, slowing down. You just don't realize how important this scientific experiment is, because all around us, perhaps billions, if not trillions of dollars are at risk, and all based on the fundamental lie that vitamin A is required for our biology. they'll say that you'll get all kinds of eye diseases and that you'll be disfigured or all this kind of stuff. When quite the opposite is true. You will be a more perfect being if you have your physical expression of your DNA will be more perfect, more complete, more true to the original design of your human code. If you don't have vitamin A obstructing your morphogenic field and distorting it. I talk with people out here at the beach and I express some of my concern about vitamin A. And I could literally talk on this subject for hours on end. And people who are genuinely interested would be riveted. And I'm glad I have this, this channel to talk on and let people know about this stuff. Next, I have some parsnips that I bought. That's another low vitamin A food. And so I'll be figuring out how to cook parsnips. I mean, I've already baked them in the oven and I ate them like that, as if they were like a potato or something. But maybe I'll come up with something a little more imaginative. But it's definitely interesting eating bland foods without spices. Oh, I see. I saw some comments there. No says, hi, Joel. Hi, Joe. Getting some nice weather. Yeah, we're going to have a storm here not too long. Oops. Put it back on the screen. This has been reading William Reich. So far, he seems to be saying to be happy, one must be able to truly enjoy things. Thank you for summarizing that. I've not read his work, but I've been fascinated about the topic of orgone energy and the flow of energy. Wilhelm Reich was kind of an interesting fellow. He had sex with his nanny when he was a boy, and that is probably a very liberating experience. But anyway, he's had a lot of interesting things to say. I suppose I've watched a few documentaries. I mean, parts of them, at least the parts that relate to the orgone energy. The other that I was fascinated with is he wrote a book called, I'm going to put this, I'm going to keep this comment on the screen. It's got William Reich's name. And one of the things he wrote was a book called seems okay. Seems okay. Yeah, there's someone there with her. Help? Yes, but they're okay. No, the kids on their knees acting. It's like they were recording something to make it look like
Somebody was having a problem?
Yeah.
Don't cry wolf.
Right.
So what are you doing?
I'm doing a broadcast,
Of what?
a live broadcast.
Of yourself?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're doing a selfie. I thought maybe you're taking a picture of the tree.
Oh yeah.
Okay, good luck.
Thanks. That's pretty. Well, you know, there's a whole entertainment industry, and people do. They do stuff where they act like they're in danger and all this. So I know my daughter's an actress, so I've got to. Anyway, the psychology of fascism, I think, is the other title of his book, and in it he wrote that for fascism to succeed, they had to have the masses subjected to sexual repression, and that led to leader worship and war fervor. So interesting. Well, just a little bit. Looks like I should collect my things and maybe go run the geese off the grass over there. All right, everybody, take care. Thank you for spending a little time with me. Bye for now.